J-Knight, Batrep.
This battle report is brought to you by Basecrafts at www.basecrafts.com and by Valiant Wargames at www.valiantwargames.co.uk. Thank you so much for supporting our Indiegogo campaign. You truly made a difference here at MiniWarGaming. So, to all the viewers out there, remember to check out www.basecrafts.com and Valiant Wargames for all of your basing and wargaming needs.
Hey everyone! Welcome to another J-Knight Battle Report. As always, my name is Jay, and as always, it's Tony.
Tony.
From Wisconsin, land of Grey Knights. Yeah. / cheese.
Cheeseheads.
Mm-hmm. So a question, in Wisconsin, do people wear like Grey Knight helmets?
No, mostly they wear Carhartt stuff.
That's cool too. A little disappointing, but cool. We need to get a bigger wargaming niche into Wisconsin, and then we'll get the Grey Knight cheese helmets.
True.
That'd be pretty cool. So, today we have another special treat for you guys. This is scenario 3 of the many scenarios that Tony's designed. So, as you probably will guess, it's my Orks versus
Black Templars and Imperial Guard.
Imperial Guard. I'm seeing a consistent theme.
Yes. We're fighting the third battle for Armageddon.
Okay.
We're battling for the control of Hell's Highway through the center of Helsreach. And it doesn't look good for the Imperium.
Doesn't look too good for the Imperium today. I brought a lot of Ork boys.
1850 points, and he outnumbers me in model count by more than 3 to 1. So
yeah.
I don't know how this is going to go.
I have about 140 models to your 40. So 3.5 to 1. But your guys get saves.
For the Emperor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of feeling like the movie 49. What was that? Was that the movie called? I don't remember. What's the number called? Is it 49? 300.
300.
Yeah, I don't know why I came up with the number 49, because that's San Francisco, and you're from Wisconsin. So, yeah, without further ado, we'll get to the armies and the deployment scenario. All right, so here are my 1,850 points of Orks. I went green tide. Green, green, green tide. Tide, 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 green, green. So leading my army is Gozkal Thraka.
Walking tank.
Yes, he's a beast. He will be in one of these battle wagons with a squad of 10 boys, but we'll go over that in a second. So there's also a Big Mac leading my army. Of course, my warlord is Gozkal Thraka. I have 2 battle wagons. Each of them, now that's the mark of Dave. It's that basically. Each of them have one of the kill cannons, Ard armor, extra armor, heavy armor, whatever it's called, Ard case, and def rollers. I love def rollers, so I'm going to try them out. I also have a squad of 16, led by a knob who fell over. 16 Storm Boys. I'm going to try Storm Boys. I've never tried them before, and they look fast. My goal is to assault today and just get into crazy close combat and have fun. And then the rest of my army, Ork Boys. So I have 3 squads of 29 Ork Boys, each led by a knob with Power Claw, Boss Pole, and heavy armor. And then I have 2 squads, right there and there, of 10 boys, led by a knob with Boss Pole, heavy armor, and Power Claw. And that's it. That is 1,850 points of Orks awesomeness, who will hopefully take down the city with the Templar and the Imperial Guard in them. All right, now here are the Black Templar with Imperial Guard allies. So leading the army?
Leading the army is a Master of Sanctity with with a Terminator armor, with a command squad, 2 Cyclone missile launchers, sergeant with a power sword, and just a regular Terminator guy.
Awesome.
A tactical squad with close combat weapons of 8. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go with the Emperor's Champion.
Oh, yep, that makes sense.
And he's taking the vow, the 50-point vow to give rage on the charge. Did he move up 12? Then I've got a small squad of 5 with Plaz gun. No, just regular tactical squad with a gun, plasma gun.
Cool.
Vindicator.
Yep. Land Raider?
Land Raider, that one squad's going to hide in, that might survive for a while.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. And then we've got my Guard allies, which is just a regular veteran squad with absolutely no upgrades other than the sergeant has a bolt pistol and a power fist. Company command squad with No upgrades except the company commander has a las pistol. Didn't even give him a power sword.
Oh, no problem.
And a squadron of Vendettas gunships.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're going a little bit airborne today because.
Uh-oh.
And then 2 flying smart cars. As my
2
son
flying
calls them.
smart cars, as you've been calling them. So 2 Talons. That's awesome.
With the Typhoon missile launchers.
Yep, and now, before you leave any comments about Flaming, I knew that he was bringing flyers, but we're going on a theme here today. Alright, we're doing Green Tide, and he's allowed bringing flyers. And we both knew about it. It's all good, okay? No anti-flyer talk in the comments. It's going to be a fun, awesome game. And that is 1,850 points of Black Templar with Imperial Guard allies. And now we'll get to the table. Alright, so here's what the table looks like at the beginning of the game. Basically, as you can see, so this right here is a roadway, or a Hell's Highway, as it's called. From the, what book is it again?
Helsreach.
Helsreach.
Battle for Armageddon.
Alright, so here's the highway, and basically, my orcs are going to start off over here, and my goal is just to get to those objectives and take them by the end of the game. However, the Templar and the Imperial Guard are going to stand and try to defend them as good as they can. So, I have no idea what's going to happen. This is going to be an insane game. Tons of terrain, tons of movement, and tons of boys, and that's what makes me happy. So we'll get to who goes first and the deployment. So rolling for first, I'm gonna let you roll because your roll might determine mine. It's independent, I know, but at the 2, I rolled a 6.
Okay.
I am gonna go first only because I don't want to go second.
Good reason.
I like that reason. Night fighting.
Night fighting. Go ahead.
Jumanji. Nope, no night fighting. Personal. Goskal Thraka. Come on 6. Come on 6. Come on 6.
2.
2 is not 6. Alright, so here's what the table looks like after deployment. I have a few more models on the table than he does, as you probably noticed. So my Storm Boys are right here. I'm gonna jump across that bridge and go for them. Yay! And then the all the boys here. Look at them. They're all piling around. And in the middle here, so this one has Goskal Thraka in it. This one has the big mech with custom force field, so everyone gets a nice fluffy cover save, because everyone at least has a model within 6 inches of it. Plus we'll have to cross the bridge anyway, so that's going to be pretty cool. In the center of the table, as you can see, are 4 objectives. Each one's worth 1 point at the end of the, or 3 points at the end of the game. We're also including, like, say the Warlord, First Blood, and Linebreaker. Cool. And over here, he has a squad of Terminators right here with his HQ. Right there, yep. For Warlord traits, he got acute senses on his outflankers, and I got Furious Charge in his deployment zone. Which, you know, orcs really need Furious Charge, people.
And I need outflanking.
Yeah. And got a lot of Warlord traits. And his Land Raiders right there in the center. Scary, scary stuff. Uh-oh. The Vindicator. And his squad of just tactical Marines. So that's it. So he has about 10 models on the table. I have about 110 models on the table. And we'll see what happens in turn 1. Is he going to seize? Is he going to seize? Is he going to seize?
Oh, yes! Yes!
And he seizes.
I just don't know if I'm in range to shoot anybody, but well, I'll take it.
Okay.
So now that he's seized, Black Templar turn 1. Alright, so he starts off by shooting his Vindicator. He doesn't want to move any of his guys, so he just starts shooting. His Vindicator shoots at the boys, and he gets a direct hit. So he needs 2s to wound, and all of them wound. So about 12 cover saves, 5 ups. And I passed 3 out of my 11. I think there were 11 actually. So 8 guys, 8 boys are dead immediately. So now the other squad, with the tactical squad, shoots at Gazgal's battle wagon and gets a pen. So strength 9, so it's a 13. It's a pen on the side armor. I get a cover save, and I fail my cover save provided by the Big Mac. And he rolls the penning chart and rolls a 2. But I ignore it because of my heavy armor, or my extra art case. So it's okay, I lose a hull point. Now the Land Raider shoots at Gazgal's battle wagon, the multi-melted mist. And the assault cannon was twin-linked. So 6s to rend, and no rendings. So then the Terminators shoot at the Storm Boys. They drop a pie plate first, and it hits directly, and hits 5. The second one scatters 3 inches, which hits another 3, or hits another 4. So 9 total so far. And the next one, direct hit, so another 5. And the last one, another direct hit. He's shooting very well with these pie plates. So 19 hits, needing 4 to wound. So I will get my 5-up cover save. So I get my cover saves. And I fail all but 2. So pretty much the Storm Boys are all almost entirely wiped out. So I look outside the one on the knob, and it's good. So in the end, I lose 9, and I do have to do a leadership check, and I pass it, luckily. And now it's my turn, Orks, turn 1. So I start by moving up the battle wagons with the first Godskull's battle wagon, and then the one right beside it, with the Big Mac with the custom force field in it. I'm hoping that the Big Mac with the custom force field just can keep giving everyone a cover save. I roll to see how fast the Storm Boys can go, and they get to move 12 inches plus 2. If I roll a 1, one dies, and they get to move 13 inches. That's pretty good, so Storm Boys are pretty fast. And then I just move up the rest of the boys, all behind the 2 battle wagons, making sure that the battle wagons obscure the sight of the closest ones, so that way they still get their mobile 5-up cover save, and they'll just stay safe. Remember, a cover save is an Orc's best friend. And then I move the back squad out of cover, and they move 3 inches. At the same time, I run them an extra 1 inch, so these guys are more brisk walking up the battlefield as opposed to running. The goal is just to get up the battlefield as quick as possible. And unfortunately, these bridges are a bit of a constraint. The reason why I'm sending up everyone at the same time down the middle is just to keep everyone together and giving everyone cover saves. And that way I can just green tide them, and then I run the Storm Boys up. I start by shooting the kill cannon from the Big Mac's battle wagon on top of the 5 tactical marines up there in cover. So I just need to see if it hits them. And I roll a hit, which is great, because Orcs aren't not good at shooting. It would only scattered an inch, but still, or 2 inches, but still. So it hits 4 of them, and I need 2s to wound. And I get 4 wounds. So he gets 4 4-up cover saves for being in ruins. And he fails 2 of them. So 2 of the tacticals are dead, which is pretty nice. And it actually does end up killing, I think, one normal and 1 las cannon. So that's pretty nice in that squad. And then the next one, the kill cannon from the other battle wagon, shoots at them. I just really want to try to get first blood. That was my goal. I maybe should have just moved them up further. But I just wanted to get first blood this turn, because first blood is a lot. And it hits again. And I get 2s to wound once again. Hits 3. And I get 3 more wounds. So 3 4-up saves. And he fails only 2 of them. So there's still 1 guy left. And I won't be getting first blood this turn. It will force a leadership check, which I think they're 8 or 9. But they pass with a 7. So that's the end of my turn.
Alright, so after turn 1, no one has gotten first blood yet, but so the Orcs have all moved up, battle wagons have moved up, and they're staying strong. I worked out 4 out of the 5 guys. I wasn't able to finish off the squad for first blood. That would have been cool. Land Raider shot, indicators over there, and over there, and right here, the green tide advances towards the objectives. Slowly, but surely, very slowly, but surely, going towards the objectives. And we'll see what happens in turn 2.
Now, Black Templar, turn 2. We start off with reserves. His Storm Talon coming in. Next Storm Talon, coming in. And then his squadron also coming in. These are going to be pretty hard since I really don't have a lot to deal with flyers. Or anything to deal with flyers, but it'll still be fun. So they all come in, and they all just line up their awesome shots against my orcs. So those two come in right in front of the Storm Boys. And they're going to shoot at the Battle Wagon. The Vindicator moves up, just get a good shot off at the boys. And he rolls for dangerous terrain and passes. The Storm Talon shoots the Storm Boys. He's ballistic skill 5, and he is reroll. So he needs 2s with reroll, which is pretty deadly. So then he gets 4 hits, and it's strength 6, so 2s to wound. And 2 wounds. So 2 are dead. And then his missiles shoot, and it's a direct hit once again, hits 3. So he rolls to see. And the second one scatters no distance as well, so it hits another 3. And then he needs 4s to wound. So 4s to wound, 3 more are dead. Oh, I do get a cover, actually. I think he gave me a cover. So the first 3, 2 are passed, 1 is failed. And the next one also failed on the knob. So in the end, the knob is okay. And the other 2 are dead. Then the Terminators repeat this process on the Storm Boys. So black are Storm Bolters, red are missiles. And he only gets 3 wounds. He applies the AP2 first. Successfully look out Surret with a 4. And I got a 5-up cover because they're shooting, through the ruins and a lot of stuff's in their way. I fail my 5-up cover, so the nearest one dies. And then I have 2 on the knob. He has a 4+ armor. And I fail the first one, so he's dead. And then the second one gets his 5-up cover, and he's dead too. So the whole squad is killed, and he gets first blood. Then shooting the side of the battle wagons. He hits all hits except for 2, but they're twin linked. So in the end, he hits with 5 of his shots and gets 2 pens. So I roll 2 Big Mac cover saves, and of course fail both. Things are not looking good for the orcs. Rolls in the pen chart, and a 5 and 4. So he immobilizes the Goskalthraka's battle wagon, which is really scary since now it's a giant obstacle in the middle of the bridge. And it's a weapon destroyed, so then he rolls to see which weapon is it that gets destroyed. He rolls a 4, which means the kill cannon. Lower than a 4 would have been the Death Roll. Talon shoots his Typhoon missile launchers at the closest squad. First one hits, and hits a lot of them. I believe 7 in the first shot alone. And the second one scatters 3 inches. So it's strength 4, so 4 is to wound. And he gets about 8 wounds. I need to roll my cover saves, and I fail 3. I fail all but 3, so 6 end up dying. Land Raider then shoots at the other one, the other battle wagon. The multi-melta misses. The assault cannon is twin linked, so he gets to reroll that one, and it does hit, so 4 shots, and he needs 6s to rend. And no 6s, so no rends. Then the that one tactical marine shoots and kills a single orc. Then shoots a pipe plate of doom right on top of the orc boys. Gets a direct hit and about 8 wounds, or not, sorry, 10 wounds. Needs 2s to wound. And I roll my cover saves, and I pass about 4. So in the end, 5 boys die. Sorry, 6 boys die. All right, now it's my turn to keep going with Orcs turn 2. So once again, I start by moving up my battle wagons. I know I angle a little bit to the left at this point, but it just goes straight. And of course, I just run my guys right behind it. I do disembarked my contents of the one battle wagon, which is the Big Mac, so that I can get him in base to base with the other battle wagon, and at the beginning of the shooting phase, perhaps fix the immobilization so that it can still ram people with its awesome death roller. So I just keep moving up my Ork boys. Once again, just behind that bridge, just keep some cover and some unity. It might have been a better idea to go under 2 bridges, but I just didn't want to get my army divided and conquered. So then I disembarked the battle wagon so that I can get the guys out. And as I said, I made sure that my Big Mac was in base to base with the other battle wagons so that it could repair it during the shooting phase. And just making sure that he'd still give a good cover save to the other squads. Alright. And then now he's at the beginning of the shooting phase. I attempted to fix the immobilization on 4+, and I did by rolling a 5. So now it's not immobilized, and it goes as normal. So then I tried to drop the kilocannon pie plate on that one remaining tactical marine. The other kilocannon's obviously destroyed. And I missed by a good distance, and it didn't do anything. It just fell on nothing. So maybe next turn. So then that's my shooting. I might as well just run. So I just ran up the Ork boys that were in the Big Mac squad 2 inches to get them in cover as well, and maybe get them a good position for next turn. And then I just I ran my other Ork boys just to get them as close to the opponent as possible. Unfortunately, I rolled 2 1s as well for the movement, so the Orks tide are just slowly moving across that bridge and will hopefully get to the opponent by the end of the game. Unfortunately, I don't have much to deal with the flyers, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the game. Alright, so turn 2 is done. I moved up my squads. And yeah, so the Orks are just preparing to get into assault. It's craziness. I was able to get back the immobilized there, so now that can move. But it probably will just be taken away next turn. We'll see. And the green tag continues to advance. On the other side, the flyers have all come in. Very scary. And they're ready to pounce on those objectives. So we'll see what happens in turn 3. Now it's Black Templar, turn 3. All of his reserves came on previous turn, so he didn't have to roll for any. His Vindicator decides to just move back a little bit to avoid getting assaulted by my Big Mac and his squad. He rolls for Dangerous Terrain and fails the first one, but gets to re-roll. Luckily, he passes his second one, so he's okay. The Storm Talon then moves up just to get in closer range of my guys and shoot at the battle wagon. Of course, he's more anti-infantry, so he's going to focus more on the boys. And then the Vendettas go into, I believe, hover mode, and one falls off the table. But it's still alive. And then the other flyer moves up as well. The Land Raider decides to disembark its contents right in front of my boys so that they can shoot and then assault it. And the Storm Talon shoots at the side armor of my battle wagon with Goskal Thraka in it. He needs 2s to hit, and the greens are twin linked. So it's to reroll 2 of the 1s. And so ends up hitting with 3 of them. And I believe they need... So I believe they need 4s to glance, 5s to pen, and 6s to run on the greens. So 2 pens. And so I rolled 2 cover saves with my 5-up force field saves. And I fail both. So both hull points are gone. And he rolls a 6. So it does explode. It doesn't ramshackle. So we just roll the distance of the explosion, and it's 4 inches. This is going to unfortunately do a lot of damage to my Ork boys around it, because it's a lot of explosion. So for the 11 guys inside, he needs 4s to wound. And gets about that many wounds. A lot of wounds. I roll my t-shirt saves, and fail all but 1 or 2. So in the end, almost the entire squad of boys is wiped out because of it. In retrospect, maybe I should put all the wounds on Goskal Thraka, but I just didn't want to lose him by accident. And then the explosion just continues with the boys around it. I roll my saves, and I lose a bunch of boys around the vehicle, and it's replaced with a crater, with Goskal Thraka, the Knob, and I believe one or two, and just a handful of boys left. So this is a leadership check at leadership 9 for Goskal Thraka, and he passes it. And now the pinning check, also at 9, and they fail. So now the squad is pinned, and they're not going anywhere next turn. So we just symbolize this by laying down. So the 4 missile launcher shots from the Storm Talon shoot at the boys. First one hits directly, and that does a bunch of hits. Second one scatters 4 inches and hits actually 3 members of a different squad. Next one hits directly. So that's another 7. So 14 on that one first squad. And then the third one hits again. So 21 hits on the first squad and a few on the second. He rolls his to wounds, needing 4s, I believe. And I get my cover saves. But I fail most of them, all but 2. So 5 boys are wiped out from that squad. And then the other squad does not wound. He had 2 hits, and neither of them wounded by rolling 2 3s. And then the other flyer shoots a Goskal Thraka squad with twinning guns as well. One of them. So they hit. Pretty much all but 1. And 2s to wound. So he applied the AP 4s first. And I failed 2 of them. I look out, sir them off Goskal. The higher AP ones, and pass. And both of them are dead from their cover saves. So the boys behind him are dead, and the boys in front of him are dead, but Goskal, the Knob, and 2 boys are left. Vendettas then repeat this process on them. They need 4s to hit with all their twinling las cannons and their Stormbolter shots, or bolter shots. And they miss with the twinling las cannon shots after the twinlinked. So 4 of them hit. And 3s and 2s to wound. So 3 wounds at AP, at the good AP, and 3 at the nut. He applies the AP 4s first, which I keep on Goskal, risking it. So I just don't want any 1s. Only 1. So 3 wounds left on Goskal. So 4 out of the 4 wounds roll. And then I look out, sir, 2 out of the 3 APs. So I fail 1 of them. One of them's passed, so I roll the pass one first with cover save. Failed, so 1 orc boy will die. And then the 2 5-ups on him, because he has 5-up invulnerable save. And I pass 1, so he's now down to only 2 wounds left. That squad does not look like it's in good shape. The Land Raider shoots a Goskal Thraka squad. The multi-multi hits this time. And the other shots are twin-linked. So pretty much everything hits. And rolls to wound. And pretty much everything wounds. No rending on the assault cannons. So he does the AP4 first. I fail another one on Goskal Thraka. So he's down to 1 more wound. Decided to keep them after some deliberation on Goskal to risk it, because I think his 2+ will hold out. And I'm lucky, and he's still alive. And then I look out, sir, my last one, because I don't want him to fail his 5+ invul. And I pass his lookout, sir. The guy fails his cover save, and the other boy is dead. So it's just Goskal and the Knob. His Plasma tries to shoot a Goskal Thraka squad 2. From that 1 remaining tactical and misses. And then the Vindicator shoots his Pipe-Plated Doom on top of them, but scatters pretty far away and hits nothing. So then Tactical Marines from the Land Raider shoot the Orc boys with the Big Mac in it. I only get 3 hits and 2 wounds. I rolled 2 5-ups from the force field, and I fail 1. So one of the Orc boys is dead from the shooting. So I do my leadership check for Goskal Thraka, and he's good. They then declare their assault on the boys. I get to Overwatch. The colors mean nothing. And I get 2 hits and forced wound, but no wounds. He then rolls distance and gets 3 inches, which is plenty to get the Templars into base space. He has an Emperor's Champion with him, And he challenges, so I accept reluctantly with my Big Mech with Custom Force Field and Power Claw. I figured there's a chance he could survive against him, because he does have Cyborg Body. So we'll have to see how good the rolling is for there. And then his guys pile in initiative step 4. And they go first at initiative step 4. They need 4s to hit with ballistic skill 4. Or weapon skill 4, sorry. And they get a bunch of hits. And then 4s to wound. And once again, roll really pretty well. So I think they get 7 wounds total. I roll my t-shirt saves, and I actually passed 3 of my 7 saves, so 4 boys die. I intentionally kept the knob alive, and so now what's left is and then I pile in initiative step 2. Alright, let's go back with 3 attacks each. So 4s to hit. And then 5s to wound. I get 3 wounds total. He rolls 3 armor saves. And passes all 3. Then the Claw and Power Fist go. He gets 2 Power Fist attacks. 1 dead. And I get my Power Claw attacks. 2 hits. And 2s to kill. And 2... So 2 Templars are dead. So now the challenge. He gets to go first with his champion. Gets 2 hits. 2s to wound. 2 wounds. So I'm hoping I pass one of my 5+ invols. And I passed both of them, which was awesome and surprising. I then get to hit back with my Power Claw attacks. I get 2 hits. And 2s to wound. And I win with both. He has a 4+ invul. Or else he dies. And he fails both of them. So the Emperor's Champion is instantly killed, which is awesome. So I lost by 1. I roll my leadership check at -1. So I need a 6. Or sorry, 7. Because the Big Mech. And I fail. So the knob hits a guy with a head and kills him for a reroll. I then reroll my leadership check. And I fail again with an 8. So they are falling back. So the question, does he catch me? Initiative step roll off. He rolls a 1, so I need to roll a 4+ to get away, and I do get away with a 5. So right now my HQs, and I run away 7 inches, so right now my HQs are just not doing well. And he gets to consolidate 6 inches, which he uses to move backwards. They aren't below 25% of their original strength. This was a pretty small squad to begin with. So they'll be able to recover at a normal roll of 8 in the future. And his guys consolidate 6 inches backwards, which he's using just to avoid a counter assault. My turn to hit back with Orks, turn 3. So I do my leadership check for the Big Mech squad. To see if they can catch back up. And they fail again. So they're going to do 2d6 fall back, and I rolled 10 inches, so the Big Mech is just running away. And they're just running back into the green tide. So right now my HQs aren't doing very well. So now I'm going to tank shock 12 inches and ram that Land Raider through the Black Templar, because I really want to use that Death Roller from that battle wagon. So first he has to do a leadership check, because it is a tank shock on the Templar. And he fails. So he does break and falls back 2d6 inches. And he falls back 4 inches. Which he gets out of the way of the battle wagon. This will have to take d6, and then I hit the Land Raider. So we do d6 hits on the Templars, and we get 5. I rolled 5 wounds, so he rolls 5 armor saves and fails 1. So in the end, he does lose 1 guy due to the Death Roller. And then I roll a d6 on the Land Raider, and I roll a 1. So 1 hit. I roll strength 10, so 4s to glance, 5s to pen, and I roll a 1 again. So nothing. And then we do our colliding tanks. I don't get anything on him. And he is a 6 to glance me, and he fails too. With a 4. So really nothing happened with that Death Roller other than killing a single Black Templar. But hey, it's worth it. And now his guys are broken, so they'll be a little bit harder to assault because they're a little farther away. But still, I can't complain with broken Templars. Of course, they'll auto-regroup next turn. So now my Orks move up 6 inches just towards the Templars, hopefully being able to assault them this turn and do a little bit more damage to them. There's quite the conga line going over that bridge because it's hard to keep the bases balanced on the parts beside the flat area. As you can see there, they tend to slide down a little bit down the bridge. And next, the other squad just moves up the bridge 6 inches as well. I really should run them because basically what's happening right now is I'm just moving up and then they're getting mowed back at the same rate as they're moving up. So the squad that isn't, so then I ran the other squad 6 inches. The one that isn't running back, I ran them up 6 inches. So that way they can possibly get into base to base next turn or run towards the objectives, depending on if they survive. And then the other squad tries to assault. And I failed with my distance of a double 1s. Perhaps I should have declared the WA, but it's okay. And then he gets Overwatch. So 5 shots with his pistols, no hits.
So after turn 3, here's what the battlefield looks like. The green tide is somewhat advancing. Goskal Thraka's kind of stopped in his tracks, and the Big Mech's running away.
He's pinned.
So, yeah, that's kind of funny. But, so pinning ends, I guess, next turn, right? It's only for 1 turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what. So, yeah, it'll be back. The Ramshackled, it was kind of fun. Not Ramshackled, the Death Roller, that was kind of fun. And what else? So they're going to regroup next turn, go for that objective, and my green tide is just advancing up, and we're going into turn 4. Let's see what happens in turn 4.
Black Templar, turn 4. Right now he's just trying to keep me away from those objectives. So the Vindicator moves up just to get a good shot off at the boys. It rolls its dangerous terrain test and passes, and then he just moves. He regroups with his Templar, and they're okay. And then he moves his Terminators up 5 inches through terrain just to get, once again, because right now they're not going to be able to see much, so they just want to move up so they can shoot and contest that objective in case I decide to run my boys at it. And then he hovers his Storm Talon back once again just to guard that one objective because he thinks that's what I'm going for. And puts his other one right beside it just to get a good shot off at the boys again. These Storm Talons are very good against infantry. And then his 2 Vendettas just move a little bit to the side once again just to get good shots off at the boys. And then his Templar move back towards the other objectives as well just to guard both of them at the same time and get themselves out of assault range. And then the Land Raider moves up, moves back a little bit, and has to go through dangerous terrain. He rolls and he fails, but he gets a reroll, and he is okay this time. So there's Templar roll, 1 inch, and that's their run distance. They run 1 inch back towards the other objective. So the Storm Talon shoots at Goskal Thraka. Needs 2s to hit, or 3s to hit, sorry. And he has to reroll a red because it disappeared. And it hits. So, yep. So 2s and 3s. So 3 wounds total. I put the AP4 one on Goskal Thraka, hoping he survives, and he does. And I looked out through the other 2 successfully, and I rolled their covers for being in a crater, and they both fail, so the Knob is now dead. And then the other Storm Talon also shoots at Goskal Thraka's squad. He's very afraid of Goskal Thraka right now, so he's really picking on him. He has to reroll the black ones because they're twin-linked. 5 hits. And once again, 2s and 3s to wound. And 4 wounds. So he does the black ones first, the lower AP ones. So I put them both on Goskal Thraka, hoping he survives, and he does. It's just him by himself. I can't look out, sir. And he dies by failing his invul save on the other shots. So now my opponent has Slay the Warlord, and he gets another victory point. So now the Terminators are shooting at the closest squad. And then they get 4 wounds. Or sorry, 5 wounds, 6 wounds. So I roll my cover saves, and I fail 5 of them. So 5 boys are wiped out in that squad. And then the Land Raider shoots multi-melta and assault cannon at my battle wagon. Misses with its multi-melta, but twin-linked assault cannon. And misses, so 3 shots. Needs 6s to rend to pen the side armor. But don't get any glances or anything, because it was 6s would rend, which then would become a pen. He then shoots it with the Vendettas. The Vendettas shoot the battle wagon, and all but 2, of course, are twin-linked with their las cannons. And all hit, so you pretty much know what's coming now. Strength 9 against armor 12, so 3s to glance, 4s to pen. And 2 pen, so 5 pens total. I roll my 5 up cover saves. And I only fail 1. It was really good rolling, so 1 pen. But it is +1. And he rolls a 6. So that 1 pen did matter, and it explodes. How big does it go? 6 inches. This is just an epic explosion. It catches those 5 guys, does 3 wounds to them. And I fail I fail 2 of my 3 t-shirt saves, and the squad is just wiped out to even smaller. And it's replaced with a crater. And then the Vindicator drops a Pie Plate of Doom right on the front of the squad. And it does scatter. 8 minus 4, so 4 inches towards me. And it still hits. Still hits 5 of them. He gets 5 wounds. And 4 of them are dead. And I did look out, sir, after this off camera, the knob wound, and I failed the lookout, sir, so he did end up dying. So things aren't looking too good for the Orks, but it's still Orks turn 4. You never know what can happen. So I do my leadership check to see if that group finally regroups with the big mech. And he does. So he's finally back to normal and regroups, so he'll be good for next turn. So he automatically moves 3 inches and then can't do much for the rest of the turn. But at least he's back. And then I decided just to run my squads and get them as close as possible to the objectives, just to put pressure on him. Because if I get these objectives, there's a chance I could actually end up winning the game. Since he doesn't have a lot of scoring units left from either side of his squads. And I'm just making sure that I don't cross the streams of the squads, trying to keep them in coherency and together. And then the last squad is also going to move up just 6 inches right behind them all. This is the healthiest squad, but they've been in the back, so they haven't been able to move up very far. And then I start running them just to get them, as I said, closer to the objectives. The first squad, I roll a 1. I've been unfortunately very slow with my running rolls today, but it happens. And then I run the other squad 3 inches towards the middle objective. And that's my turn.
Alright, so that's bottom of 4. The Orks just keep moving up. That one squad in the back keeps getting blocked, so I'm not really moving them up because they're kind of congested right here. The bridge has been a point of much congestion, as you can see. But it's all good. And they're running for that objective. They're running for that objective. So right now I actually have 2 objectives to his 1. But obviously, there's a lot more firepower on this side of the table. So we'll see what happens in turn 5.
So now it's Black Templar, turn 5. This could be the last turn, so right now his job is just to defend those objectives and make sure that I can't score them. So he goes into hover mode again with his Storm Talons. And then he rolls to move through cover with his Terminators and gets a 6, so they're actually moving pretty quickly. And again, he just moves them towards them, just to get a good shot off at my boys. He really wants to defend those objectives and get me off mine. He because he doesn't want me running towards him in the last turn and actually winning the game. And he moves his Land Raider through difficult, dangerous terrain, but he has to roll first, and rolls a 1, and gets a reroll, and rolls another 1. So that Land Raider is actually immobilized way back there in the middle of the terrain when it started moving, and that's really nasty for the Land Raider. Then he moves his Vendettas over his Land Raider, once again, just to land on top of the objectives and guard them a little bit, so if I try to get near him, he'll blast me to smithereens. And then he pivots his Vindicator, and he drops both of his loads from his Vendettas. He declares his orders, so first rank fire, second rank fire. So they do the first order, and this time it's actually correct. These people can actually do orders, first rank fire, second rank fire. And the first one goes off, and the second one fails. So then this first squad of veterans rapid fires my Orc boys. Need 3s to hit. And hits with almost everything he's got. And then to wound. He needs 4s to wound, I believe. So they didn't do as well. Or 5s to wound. So that many that many just 5 ups. And I fail almost all of them. So. And once again, by this point, I did do lookout stirs off camera. Unfortunately, there have been a couple takes that weren't captured. And I failed. So the knob did die. And then the other veterans shoot, needing 3s to hit. And 5s and 2s, 2s on the red, 5s in the black. And not bad at all again. So 4 more wounds on my guys. I roll 4 cover saves. And this time I fail only 1. So just 1 guy dies. And then the Vendetta repeats this process on the boys. So 4s to hit. Yep, and the greens are 2s, and the blacks are heavy bolters, so they are 3s. So that many wounds. The first 2 are boys, and they're both dead. The next 5 are on the Big Mac, so I look outstir them all. And 3 of them fail. Oh, sorry, the Knob, not the Big Mac. And the Knob is dead with an extra wound going on the pool behind him. And then the 3 boys that were looked outstirred, 2 of them are dead. So 3 boys are dead and the Knob as a result of that shooting. Oh, plus the other 3 from the other shots. So pretty much that squad is pretty much pushed back on top of the bridge. And then the 1 plasma shoots and fires, hits and wounds, and I fail my cover save, so he's dead as well. The Vendetta drops his pie plate once again on that bridge. The Vindicator is doing very well today. And he hits again, so it's doing a lot of wounds on those guys. So it causes wounds on 2 wounds on one squad, 1 wound on the other. And on the third squad, 2 more wounds. So cover save on the first squad is okay. Cover save on the second squad, 1's okay. And on the third squad on the bridge, 1's okay as well. So then the tactical squad shoots at the Big Mac squad. Get 4 hits and strength 6. So 3 wounds. So I do the 2 before the mech first. So 5 plus cover. Both good. And then the other one, dead. So 1 boy will die before the Big Mac. So the 2 crack missiles shooting from the Storm Talons onto the same squad. They all hit. All but 1, sorry. And then 2s. And 2s. So 4 wounds. The first one survived, and I'm just rolling on the one in front of the Big Mac because it's different armor saves. And the second one's good. Third one's good. And the fourth one is all good. So that 1 Orc boy withstands 4 cover saves. And then they repeat this process with the other Storm Talon. This time, his crack missiles didn't hit. And he needs 2 to wound with the assault cannons. And 2 more wounds. I fail my first cover save. So this is on the Big Mac. I look out, sir. And I passed my lookout, sir. And then the other cover save has failed as well. So all that's left of that squad is the mech. So now they fire at the mech. Needing 3s to hit. Only 2 hits on the mech. So 2 storm bolters hit. And 1 wound. I do my 5 up. So I get my 4+ armor save actually instead of a cover, and he fails it. So there's 1 wound left on the mech, but he does have to do a leadership. So I do my leadership checks. I fail my first leadership. And how far do they fall back? 7 inches. Now they are well below 25% of their squad, so they have to do insane courage for the rest of the game. And then the next squad. Then the next squad will have to do their leadership check, which is just the big mech, and he's at leadership 8. So I do his leadership check, and he is good. And the finals group rolls their leadership check, and they're also good with a 4. So now it's Orks turn 5. I see if that one squad will ever come back. I need insane heroism, so snake eyes, and I fail. And I roll to see how far they go off. 11 inches, and that is right off the board. They're gone. So right now, I'm really hoping the game continues for another turn, since I'm not in range of anything. I just want to move up and run in the direction of the objectives, and hopefully survive one more volley of fire before proceeding to the other objectives. And then I move up, and I attach the Big Mac to a squad, so that way he is protected. And I run the first squad 4 inches, and I ran the second squad, I believe, 3 inches. And that is my turn.
Alright, so here's what the board looks like after 5 turns. Orks have been fended off quite successfully by the Imperial Guard and Black Templar. Good job to them. And right now the score is, he's got 2 objectives, and First Blood and Slay the Warlord, so it's 8-0. So it's not amazingly close, but we'll see what happens. The game might continue. So does the game end? We'll see. Alright, so does the game end? It does not. It's going to continue.
And now it's Black Templar turn 6, since the game is continuing. So he moves up his Terminators, just to get once again, good line of sight of my Orc boys. And once again, the Vindicator's pie plate. I should have learned my lesson, but unfortunately I have to cross that bridge. And it scatters 4 inches, but it still ends up hitting, I believe, 3. He rolls to wound, 3 wounds, so I have 3 cover saves, and failed 2 of them, so the front 2 are dead. It's very hard when he has a Vindicator and I have to cross a bridge, but unfortunately I have to do what you have to do. Any other shot? 1 wound. And I failed another cover. So they do first rank fire, second rank fire again. First one passes. Then orders on himself. And it also passes. Because he's leadership 9. The Vendetta is now at the squad. Once again, 3s to hit. And he gets a bunch of hits. And he gets to reroll the reds, so that was already a hit, so yeah. And he gets about 9 hits, and then 2s to wound, 2 on the reds, 3s to wound on the blacks. And pretty much everything wounds. So I roll my first 2 cover saves, and pass them both. This is before it gets the mech. These are on the knob, sorry. He fails 1. So now it's the last cannon times, so 1 at a time on the knob. Fails first one, so the knob is killed. The next ones all go on the Big Mac. Oh, sorry, 1 more Orc before the Big Mac. And now he's dead. So I look at the remaining 3 off the Big Mac. All 3 good. And then on the boys, they all get a 5-up cover. And I failed 2. So 2 more boys are dead. And another leadership check if they survive. So now the 4 autocannon shots on the boys as well. From the Land Raider. And the Meltamist. These are from the Land Raider. The multi-Melta has missed a lot during this game. So everything but the Melta ended up hitting. So 6, yep. So 2s to wound on the reds, 4s on the black. And so the lookout sirs was the first 2, and they're both good. And both cover saves are made. And then I look out sir the next 3, and I fail 1. So I do his 5-up cover, and I fail, so the Big Mac is instant killed, and the 2 other Ork boys, one of them dies. So next the Templars shoot. Oh, sorry, the Veteran Squad shoots at that squad of boys. So he needs 5s and 2s to wound. And once again, gets a bunch of wounds. 4 wounds. And then I forgot about my cover save. We do get a 5-up cover save. So I put him back. I roll my 4 or 5-up cover saves. And I failed 2 of them. So only the front 2 are dead. So then the next veterans shoot at them with a bunch of shots. I think it's like 27 shots total, which is a lot of shots. 3s to hit. And 5s to wound. I get a bunch of 5s. I roll my cover saves and fail all of them. So that entire squad is wiped out now. And then the last squad fires at my last remaining squad, who's already falling back. No, sorry, last squad falling back is already gone. My last squad. And mathematically, he should be able to finish off the squad with this 1 round of firing. He re-rolls those. So in the end, he gets about 14 hits. And he rolls the wounds. And that finishes off my squad. And I am completely tabled, which I'm now calling Jabled. So it is a Black Templar victory after a very hearty handshake. Wasn't very close, and it's a Black Templar victory. So if you really liked this battle report and you want to watch the next part in this 4-part campaign inspired by Hell's Deep, click on the link below for a 7-day trial membership to the MiniWarGaming Vault. Not only will you see this awesome battle report, you will have access to many other wargaming videos. So until next time, this is Jay saying, happy wargaming, everyone.